You know, there's only a certain amount of cringe that anyone can consume, and part of my job is consuming said cringe at a higher rate than your average Joe. But I think I may have to just excise some cringe from my life. I've made it through 5 episodes of She-Hulk, and it's no longer like it used to be, like cringe funny or like so bad it's kind of good in a weird way, to like utterly boring and just sad. It's like the writers are constantly trying to prove how witty and smart and funny they are, but it comes across as contrived, forced, and cringe. When there's when we have like the twerking scenes, stuff like that, at least it gives people something to talk about that's interesting. But like this latest episode is, quite frankly, one of the most boring 30 minutes I've ever spent in my life on any kind of entertainment anyway. And a stunning reveal, I guess, about exactly what could have been for the She-Hulk universe. That and more after a quick word from this video's sponsor. Huge shout out to this video's sponsor, Established Titles. Established Titles is a project based on a historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds or lords, and ladies in English. They allow people to buy as little as 1 square foot of dedicated land so they can call themselves a lord or a lady officially. In return, they commit to plant a tree with every order and protect the beautiful, pristine woodlands of Scotland. Established Titles makes an absolutely amazing gift, and a person could officially get their name changed on documents. Their title pack gives you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land on a private estate and an official certificate with a crest. Established Titles is currently having a really big sale just for you, my subscribers. You can get an additional 10% off any purchase you make with the discount code THEQUARTERING. So click the link below, go to establishedtitles.com/thequartering and use promo code THEQUARTERING to save an extra 10% today. Now, just to give everyone a quick reminder where She-Hulk sits, is currently at a 39% audience score. So it's done absolutely nothing to win people over. It's nothing to like stem the tide of negative reviews. Even when it doesn't do anything interesting, like in this last week's episode, people don't really care about it. It's a show that exists, I guess, as its best thing you could say about it. She's a girl boss, I guess. But you know, there's that. But even when you read the reviews, right? Like, look at this review on Gizmodo. Okay, we know Gizmodo is a left-leaning shill website that isn't going to say anything bad about any, you know, consume products. But She-Hulk fights for both her name and some sick drip. I guess maybe this isn't cringe if you refer to clothing as drip, unironically, and perhaps that's actually like the target audience for this show is people that say things like no cap and refer to clothes as drip, and that's fine. Like, not every show is for everyone, and quite frankly, I think I'm just done watching She-Hulk because it's just not getting any better. There's nothing really valuable about it. And honestly, like, we had a trademark law episode. If we were really going to lean this hard into like the legal proceedings and stuff like that, you should have spent some money on writers that actually knew how to write courtroom scenes. I'm sure there are plenty out there. I'm sure of it. I mean, Ally McBeal was a show that you probably could have hired away from, or people that have worked on that. There's all those Law and Order shows. I mean, there's innumerable people that you could put. But in episode 5 of She-Hulk, Mean Green and straight poured into these jeans, picked up right where the 4th episode let off, and Jen is still reeling from the copyright infringement lawsuit from Jamila Jamil served her over the name She-Hulk. Okay. The social media super has gone full Kardashian with Jen's superhero name, and Jen pretends like she doesn't care, but she totally does. Jen's boss does not like seeing the name and person he invested in, She-Hulk, being used to promote products like Booty Boost, and urges her to clean up her own mess. He makes Mallory Book take Jen's case, and very quickly it's obvious that it was the right move. Mallory has confidence and swagger that Jen doesn't, and decides to countersue, alleging Titania, stole the name just to profit from it. The problem is she needs to prove Jen was using the name before the lawsuit. Oh my god, it's a copyright lawsuit. Whoa, copyright episode. Dun, 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 dun. Copyright law. Who doesn't want to turn into that? Who doesn't want to tune into that? Meanwhile, a very funny but tangential side story of Pug asking Nikki to help him wait in line for some limited edition sneakers, Iron Man 3s, in case you're wondering. And he brags about his drip broker, Alonzo, man who can get you anything. Materialism? Much? I guess that is like, you know, I don't really hang out with people that would probably be in the target demo, but I guess wasting money on clothes is something that young people do. I remember when I was young, everybody went to Abercrombie and Fitch if your parents were rich. Kids weren't wearing, kids didn't have $5,000 fits, whatever because they can't say outfit nowadays, they say fits. But if you knew if they had money, they were wearing Abercrombie. And really Abercrombie were garbage clothes that were overpriced. But anyway, the show is just, nothing's going on. And like, I guess like that's the biggest crime here. There's hardly any action. What is the point of her being She-Hulk all the time if she's not going to be kicking some butt? I just don't understand it. AV Club. Jen legally embraces her Monica on a slow She-Hulk. A cameo-free half-hour falls flat, despite welcome appearances from Renee Goldsberry, Jamila Jamil, and Josh Segarra. Yeah, it was boring. It was like the straw that broke the cringe camel's back. I just had enough. Sadly, our She-Hulk appears to be a pushover, and it's not until her boss warns her about getting caught up in a frivolous lawsuit, no one hires a firm that can't handle their own messes, that Jen is truly motivated to handle the issue. Enter Goldsberry's Mallory book, Jen's much more assertive and put-together coworker who will serve as her lawyer in the lawsuit. It should be easy enough to prove that she's profiting off name recognition already established in the marketplace, but Mallory advises Jen, dress like you respect yourself and not like a football player pleading no contest to a Dewey. DUI. I live in Wisconsin, so we call them Deweys. They happen a lot. I mean, like, this is you know, like, what? This is it. And Critical Trigger pointed out, apparently She-Hulk was supposed to release before Miss Marvel, but the first cut was so monumentally terrible that they had to swap them around to allow for emergency reshoots. Think about that. We're seeing now is the improved version. I mean, that is something to think about. I've never really been one of those. Maybe just my eye doesn't really see it, as it's not as offensive to my eye as it is to some other people. Like when something has like bad CGI, like, I don't know. I grew up playing PlayStation. I accepted a lot of like early CGI and polygonal graphics, and so like it's hard for me to look at CGI and be like, oh, that's bad. It does stick out as bad and rushed in She-Hulk, but that's not why the show sucks. The show sucks because it's only skin deep. It's not really saying anything. It's trying to say something. See, some shows just want to entertain, and that's okay. Just entertain. You don't have to have a message. But what's interesting to me is when you say you have a message and you say nothing, that's far worse. Is she supposed to be a girl boss or like a goofball butt of all the jokes? We were supposed to, you brought on Mark Ruffalo to help launch the character. The character sucks. I mean, are we going to have to suffer through She-Hulk in all the new Avenger movies too? I guess, is there even an Avengers anymore whatsoever? And we'll never actually see the ratings. That's one of the saddest parts of all this. Like, we can look at Samba TV for some directional, but like, it's the show is just, if you're going to preach. You told us you were going to preach. You told us you were going to help out all the girls be girl bosses. And what? So she hooks up with a guy, and she's shocked and appalled that he ditches her when she doesn't look like She-Hulk anymore. Like, you lied about your appearance. Like, he wanted to be with She-Hulk. And he's supposed to be the villain in that? I don't really get that. You lied about who you were. Or at least, you know, he only wanted to be with the She-Hulk part. The show could be forgiven for its levity and its cringe on the nose social commentary if it was at least entertaining, but it's just not that either. I'm tapping out of She-Hulk Attorney at Law. I think I just can't consume any more of it. I hope you enjoyed this video though. If you did, leave a like on it, click that red subscribe button down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.